The missing containers belonging to ECG, which were locked at the Tema Port, has raised significant concern among stakeholders in the power industry and the general public. The unaccounted for missing containers numbering over 1,300 have sparked widespread discussion across the media and has lingered a lot of questions in the minds of Ghanaians. As of now, 14 arrests have been made, including 10 Chinese nationals and 4 Ghanaians in connection with the missing ECG containers numbering over 1,300 at the Tema Port.
And let me thank the port authorities and the Director General of the Ghana Ports for cooperating with us and providing us with information. And also to thank the general public. They have been providing the security agencies with information that has led to the arrest of these people. Where we are here, as you can see from behind, a lot of ECG cables stuck in this warehouse, and they've all bolted. Indians and Chinese people have run away. So far, some people have been arrested, and we would ensure that the law takes its course. Why we have this problem is because if you look at the records, and I have the report here, in 2014, ECG's planned procurement was 1.397 billion. By the end of the year, they procured 8.2 billion. And so they engaged in frivolous over expenditure, procured items that they did not have money to clear, and that is what has brought us this far. The same with 2023. Their planned procurement was less than 1 billion. They ended up procuring 8.3 billion. That is more than 7.3 billion over and above what was approved for them. So if you look at the records, in 2022, they procured 1.3 billion. In 2023, they procured 8.3 billion. In 2024, they procured 8.2 billion. Way above what was approved for them. More than 700%.
The two companies in Shai Hills are Danfang and Ponlok Manufacturing Company Limited. Meanwhile, the facility in Kpone serves as a warehouse where 4 individuals have been arrested and are awaiting further investigations. Upon reaching the two manufacturing companies, ECG cables were discovered at these facilities, with some already smelted, others stored in warehouses, and some deliberately set ablaze to destroy evidence before national security operatives arrived. When we arrived at the warehouse in Kpone, the facility was under lock and key.
During the transition period, it came to light at the transition that about 300 containers were stuck at the Tema Harbor because ECG had bought some containers through third parties and couldn't clear them. And so, on assumption of office, as minister, I visited the container terminal myself, where they call UCL, where containers that are not cleared are stocked. When I went, I was given a different figure of 2,500. I got alarmed. And so as minister, I set up a committee to investigate the whole issues surrounding these containers. The committee submitted this report and indicated that contrary to the 2,500 figure that was given when we got to the port, 1,300 containers and over could not be accounted for, which means they were missing. Let me put on record that these things have been happening since 2019. And as you can see for yourself, based on where we went, it's a syndicate that has been operating for some years now.
Speaking with the media, the Minister for Energy and Green Transition has described the situation as alarming.
As minister, I've taken a decision to break this syndicate. We would chase everybody, pursue every organization that has been operating this cartel. Clearly, as you can see, these are ECG cables. They are meant to be used by ECG, but they end up in these factories and then they melt them in their smelter and produce aluminum rods. That is criminal. I've realized that some misguided element wants to play the NDC MPP politics, let me assure them that is not going to work. As minister, I've sworn an oath, and it's my duty to ensure that the right thing is done. We would pursue them and ensure that the perpetrators are brought to book. We will do everything we can to trace these containers because they have serial numbers, they have manifest.
The Minister for Energy and Green Transition, Mr. John Jinapor, has assured Ghanaians that he is working actively with the security agencies to retrieve all the missing containers, as well as bringing those responsible to justice.
And so let me make it clear, those who think that they can engage in political football, those who think they can use this to try and equalize, it will not work. Since 2019, this crime is being perpetrated on the state. The then government slept on it. This government will not allow this to continue. And as minister, I would ensure that we curtail this, we follow and apprehend those responsible, and retrieve the containers. In simple terms, I want my containers. Simple as that. And wherever the containers are, we'll trace them. And those we've apprehended, will not just prosecute them, we'll go to court and seek an order to sell those assets there to defray the cost so that we use that money to invest in the grid system and to make power delivery available and reliable.
Chief Superintendent Osman Al-Hassan, Director of National Security, confirmed to the media that so far 10 Chinese and 4 Ghanaians are arrested so far.
As at yesterday, the earlier part, we had picked 10 Chinese and then 2 Ghanaians. But we have picked additional 2 Ghanaians, making the total 14, and they're all in custody. We have just picked some 4 people in Tema, but I am here to interact with them. So I am not in a position to give you more facts.
So we are currently at Shai Mines, Sakasaka Park, with the investigative team to check whether some of the missing containers are found here.
So normally we don't buy stolen containers. So before we buy container, we make sure we have the papers before we buy.
So currently we are with a team at Atlas Dry Port Terminal, where 34 containers have been discovered.
Course is on ECG cables, but apparently when we were directed here, we had understanding that it was all cables. But in the course of investigation, we have discovered meters. That some of the containers actually contain meters. As to whether some of the meters have been taken or not is another matter we are yet to establish. This one is intact, so it has not been tampered with. So all the containers originally are supposed to be like this, but somehow they managed to remove the top layer and leave only one on top. But that is the evidence of what we want you people to see.
With 24-hour security presence at the port, still criminals managed to enter here to steal some of the cables. The matter is still under investigations to bring those responsible to justice. Nana Echa Abuaje, Bullet TV, Atlas Dry Port Terminal, Tema.